Hello, everyone, and welcome to In the Know 360, show hosted by me, Annette, the warm hearted warrior diva. This show gives you insights on the journeys of high achieving business owners and music artists who share with our audience the importance of building a strong community of like minded individuals on the road to greater success. Today's show is a collaboration between Indino 360 and Mr. Ladaro Penix, also known as Monsta Yo. Yay! Monsta Yo,
Hey,
hey, is a remarkable hip hop artist who recently collaborated with Snoop Dogg on the hit track What You Talkin Bout. Throughout his career, he has forged connections with several prominent figures in the hip hop world, including Rick Ross, Glasses Malone, The Chill, LongBeach EWill, P Nice, DW Flame, Sean Kingston, Xzibit, Cappadonna from the Wu-Tang Clan, Tay Third, Kurupt, Young Black, Lord Daze, Realz Sinatra, and many more. In addition to his musical talents, Monsta Yo, published author of 7 books ranging from self-help books to children's stories and gripping suspense thrillers. Beyond his artistic pursuits, he also ventured into directing and acting, and most importantly, establishing a suicide prevention hotline, offering support and solace to those who feel overwhelmed by life's challenges and have lost hope. What sets Monsta Yo apart is his incredible ability to inspire and influence others. Despite being incarcerated, he continues to make positive impact on countless lives. Well, thank you for joining us tonight and welcome, Monsta Yo. Yay!
man, thank you very much. Thank you. That was a real warm-hearted introduction. I truly appreciate it, Annette. Man, thank you, Miss Warm-Hearted Warrior.
Well, you're very welcome, sir, and I'm grateful for having you and honored for having you on the show tonight. I have several questions for you tonight, sir, and I
Okay,
hope you're ready for them.
absolutely.
Who or what inspired you to start your career in the music industry?
What really set me ablaze is when um, I was getting out of a youth facility, and my mother was driving, and she cut on the radio, and she played a song called "Regulators" by Warren G. And rest in peace, Nate Dogg. And mind you, Nate Dogg is from where I'm from. I'm from Long Beach, California. And back then we needed that inspiration. Snoop had already set that blaze, that's that trail. But Warren G, he was the neutral individual that everybody needed. You know what I'm saying? And when he laid that track, it inspired me to want to do something the same, do something similar. And set a fire inside of me. And so sure enough, I ended up writing my rhymes, taking it seriously. And I just took the course and I just went from there. For a long time, though, I had stopped um, just writing and just living my life. But then in 2020, COVID happened. And I'm sitting here asking myself, what am I going to do with my life? Everybody was just sitting up in here rotting, getting sick and everything else. And I said, you know what? I need to do something with my life. And sure enough, I picked up that pen, that paper, and just went on one and decided to start recording. And the minute I started to record, it was over after that. I just set it ablaze.
Wow, that's so inspiring. And can you recall the exact moment that you knew you wanted to pursue this career path?
Myself and LongBeach EWill, my brother, my little brother, man. He's a phenomenal talent. I called him the ghetto harmonizer. He is that ghetto gospel that you need to hear. That coming from where I'm from. He got that vibe. He'll take you there. He knows how to uplift your soul and motivate you. And so LongBeach EWill and I, we came together. And he was like, bro, we need to start talking about your situation. You've been incarcerated since you were 16 years old, and you need to tell a story. And he said, it's time for the world to know the truth. And he just went on one. I've been in this jail cell for too long. Came up as a pup, now I'm full grown. Yes, I made mistakes, but I'm praying every day that these youngsters don't make the same mistakes. 27 years, no wife and no kids. My own fucking family left me in here for dead. Why me? And when he said it, all of a sudden it just sparked. Everything clicked in my lifetime. I can tell, but then I just write rhymes. And I just went on one. These jail cells with hate mail really been a lifeline. Now fight with Kisus to keep with, I went to another place. It was like an out of body experience. And next thing I know, I was telling a story, and that story really took effect on people's lives. They started tapping in like, man, that was the truth. I felt that. I felt your pain. And, in that moment, I knew I had something. And I knew that I had to really take this career seriously, because I discovered that I could have a voice, not only a voice, but that my talent could be shown, and I could start sharing with the world something positive instead of negative. My life was always associated with something negative. So for the first time in my life, I could actually share with the world something beautiful, an experience that might have been dark, but it's beautiful because it liberates someone else from their own experience, either saving them or having them be familiar with it and say, damn, I need to change my life. So I love that right there.
Wow. That was very inspiring. I was listening to it in the car today again, and it just, just leaves me speechless and in my feels, because I know there's a lot of people that need support, and comfort.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing that with us, and also developing that song so that way it can touch many hearts. What challenges have you faced?
Well, the obstacles that I faced during my journey in prison has been a lot. Again, I was incarcerated at age 16. At age 17, I actually stepped into the prison walls. And you got to realize that a child coming into prison, that is one of the most devastating things that could ever affect a child's psyche, because now in that moment, he's forced to grow up. He's forced to not think as a child, but think as a man and from a survival perspective. Here it is, I'm a terrified child, understanding that I'm around killers and weirdos and just a lot of strange stuff that goes on around here. And so, I've experienced the riots on the yard. I've stabbed and been stabbed. I've fought. I've been everything. I've faced the challenges of the booty bandits, fighting them, destroying them, and everything else. There's so many things that I had to do. I had to become ruthless and barbaric in order to become the person that I am today. And it's unfortunate because prison today, it's much more reform. When I first came into prison, there was no reform. If you wanted to be put in education, you had a 2 to 3 to 4 year waiting line to get put in education. Other than that, you lift weights and you keep a knife on you and you go to war at any given moment. And so that's what it was. And so for a very long time, it was nothing but war, to the point to where it ended up costing me my freedom on the main line, general population. And I was sent to solitary confinement for 17 years. And I spent that 17 years initially fighting. And after so much time back there in that dungeon, what happened was something clicked. And, it was just a moment. You have these various moments in your life that make you, think about, is there something better for my life than this? And for me, there were various moments, various times, various situations, various times where I was subjected to cruel and unusual punishment beaten handcuffs, tortured by the staff, my food messed with, so I was poisoned majority of the time and everything else, because when you fight staff, they will get you. They will make sure you feel the repercussions of your actions. And the worst thing about that is when you're in solitary confinement, the staff pass out your food. They also collect your mail. So you're at the mercy of them. So there were times when I remember my family wasn't getting any of my mail, and I would get letters, why aren't you writing us? And I was writing them almost every day. And it was because they were throwing it away. That's how it used to be, and it was very unfortunate because it took a drastic toll on my own psyche. I had to go through many psychological readjustments just to endure that. In the process, there were many earth angels who came to me and made sure that I had reading material to keep my mind on point. They encouraged me to get into academics. They encouraged me to embrace my talents. My mother, she would always say, write. She said, you have this gift, let the world experience you. So my mother would always say, you have this gift, you have this talent, utilize it. Let people hear your voice, and so I began to write poetry, and I began to write short stories and everything else. And, I began to get myself into academic programs and self-help programs, because a lot of things is about, in order for you to change, in order for you to embrace reform, you have to actually apply yourself. You have to be proactive. Prison is not going to change you. You have to be willing to change and be a part of the process of that change. And that's what I did. I began to really embrace the curriculum of everything that I learned and became a part of that, in a sense of, I made sure that it led me so that I could lead by example. You know what I'm saying? So it taught me very well. And so all of a sudden, overnight, I had achieved all these great accomplishments during my 17 years in solitary confinement, writing 7 books in solitary confinement and publishing them, getting my accomplishments in academics up, where I received my degrees, certificates, everything. Then came out of solitary confinement onto the main line, and all of a sudden, earning more certificates, earning more degrees, and so now I have my degree in theology, I have my degree in psychology, I have my degree in liberal arts and communication. In fact, I graduated cum laude in psychology, and so I was very proud about that. I have my business certificate from Baylor University. That's one of my big accomplishments, because Baylor University is a prestigious university. And so I always like to give my props and my salutes to Baylor University. What else? And then, the minute I came out of solitary confinement, that was probably one of the biggest culture shock for me. That was the crazy thing, because you got to understand that, when I came into solitary confinement, the culture was one way. Drugs for many of the African-American culture wasn't as prevalent as it is now, and so when I come out into the main line, everybody's using drugs, and it was like everybody was zombies. And so here it is for me to have a conversation with a young king or an older king, and see that they really had nothing to offer for their life or to anyone else. It really hurt, because it's like everything that I fought for, all the sacrifice that I made was for this, and now my new fight became, how can I wake people up, and what's the best way to wake people up? By letting them see you shine, because then they think that they can shine, and then they actually take the initiative to shine. Application is key. And so that's what it's all about. And I want to show people that you can shine, you can be great, no matter your circumstances. And so that's what I pretty much did. Now I'm in here leading groups and, leading criminal Gang Anonymous and all type of other programs to sway people from that old criminal thinking. And, I'm building so many positive resources and bonds. I'm a strong believer in your word is your bank. Your word is your currency. You know what I'm saying? You build up your bank of having standing on principle and standing on your word. And guess what? You'll always have endless resources. So I stand on the truth of my word. I stand on the truth of my integrity. You know, that's how I lead from. I lead from my heart, and I lead from my integrity.
Wow. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot to take in, to digest. Yeah, from what I got out of what you said regarding solitary confinement, it was you made the tides turn into your favor, where you utilize your skills, and you were actually teaching yourself and training yourself through this process, and it seemed like that it also saved you, right? I think it saved you from the masses when you came, like you said, to the mainstream, and from sheltered you from the stuff that people were doing in the mainstream. That's what it sounds like too. So, I mean, it's like a catch
Absolutely.
22. Yeah.
Absolutely. I had to turn my disadvantage into an advantage, and I always talk about the psychological readjustment. A lot of people say that, man, I could never be in your situation because I wouldn't survive mentally. But the reality is that the mind is stronger than what we even realize. You put yourself in a situation and your mind learns how to adapt. And so for myself, I had to learn how to adapt to every situation, even the situations of humiliation, even the situations to where I was helpless. You had to learn how to surrender in that moment and say, okay, I'm helpless now, and I see that and I experience it, but I won't be helpless forever, and so once I put that in my mind, I was able to endure. I was able to survive the situation. My mind was able to maintain its good health, and so that was that right there. It also taught me patience. Oh my God, it taught me so much patience because sitting there and thinking that you're going to die in solitary confinement, you know, you don't see tomorrow, and yet even though you know or you feel that there's no tomorrow, you still fight for tomorrow. That was something that was transforming for myself because I began to fight for a hope that I could not see. It's said in the Bible, hope, that faith, of a mustard seed, that's a form of that hope, and so I had that hope always, like, I'm not going to die in here. I won't.
How many years were you in solitary confinement?
Oh, for 17 years.
And was that a straight through 17 years, or was it intermittent?
It was completely straight 17 years. No leaving solitary confinement, just staying there for 17 years. No intermittent.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh. Moving back to music, right? I know that you started producing music with LongBeach EWill. Was he your best collaboration, or is there someone else that you can name, like your top two, maybe?
The top two collaborations that I've done with artists, that's a good question. Of course, I gotta say, besides LongBeach EWill, because I'm not gonna lie, he put us on the map. He's so extraordinary, right? But the top two would be, that's a good question. Okay, so the best collaborations other than LongBeach EWill would be, of course, number one would be Snoop. I'm so grateful to Snoop for, honoring me with that track. Death Row, you already know. Love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all, everybody. But then the next collaboration, now that's a good one because there's many that I have to give props to. Gosh, You know what, I ain't gonna lie, like there's a few individuals that are top two. And I gotta
Okay.
say this, one would be the Chill from Compton Most Wanted. Shout out to the Chill. We holding you down, bro. um he we did a song called Pax, you know um presented by Canna Muscle Russell,
Okay.
my business partner, cannabis, you know what I'm saying, Church,
Uh-huh.
you know uh but my own strain, Monsta Yo glue and Monsta Yo extendos, and the Monsta Yo gear is coming out soon. But anyway, but the Chill from Compton Most Wanted, he opened his heart, he opened his home, he opened everything to make sure that we were heard, and I appreciate him. Then the next one will be, I'd probably say, people would think that I would say Rick Ross, but the one who I got to give my props to, who's a real one, is Glasses Malone.
Mm.
Glasses Malone, when I was still, you know, barely heard and barely
Mhm.
seen, Glasses Malone said, "You know what, I got you, bro." And he's a real one. He's a politician. He's a political figure. He's serious. He's real. He's 100. He's there for his people. He's not just an individual that's just a celebrity that sells himself on some gimmick. He's a real individual who cares about real individuals, and so he pushes a real line, and I really respect his get down. So, Glasses Malone. So I gotta say, what's up to Glasses Malone.
Okay, okay. Well, shout out to all of them. And name three artists who you would open up a show for.
Say that again.
Name three artists you would open up a show for.
Oh, okay. So that's easy. One would be Buster Rhymes. Off
Okay.
top, Buster Rhymes. He's a legend in the game. I've been wanting to do something with Buster Rhymes for so long. I would love to open up for Buster Rhymes. He's just phenomenal in every
Hmm.
way. Um, the next one would probably be Tech Nine.
Okay.
Tech Nine, he's a living legend already, and I don't even think that he's even reached his potential yet. And so we've had conversations, in the DM, and so I love to be able to open up for him, and I'm hoping to do a project with him pretty soon. The
Hmm.
last one I would like to open up with would probably be, you know, I ain't gonna lie, it would be my bro P Nice. My
Okay.
bro P Nice just came out with his own album called Beach Party, and he's been doing extraordinary things. He's a legend, a young living legend in the
Hmm.
city of Long Beach, and he's doing so much for people. And not just that, he's giving back to the kids and to the community, and I respect that. And he's doing it from the heart. He's not doing it for publicity and nothing else. He's doing it from the heart, and
Hmm.
he's a great talent. So P Nice for sure, I would love to open up for.
Yeah, his song is are dope, rather.
I
So
love
could
it.
you could you tell the audience who is Monsta Yo? Besides what I've already said, because we know you're phenomenal. But who is Monsta Yo?
Know is he's a son. He's a brother. He's a teacher. He's an educator. He's a seeker. He's a student. He's a lover. He's a fighter. He's a warrior. He's a protector. Monster Yo is a businessman, an entrepreneur. He's driven. He's motivated. Um, he's understanding. He's emotionally intelligent. Anything that is masculine, that's what he is. You know, Monster Yo doesn't give up. Like, the world can beat me up over and over and over again. And I'm always reminded by the movie Riddick with Vin Diesel,
Mm.
and he was a Furian. And the Furians were the tough people that would never break. And so um, the invaders, they pretty much wiped them out because they were the hard ones to um, integrate um, into their colony, and so they just wiped them out. But they left one, and this one Furian, uh, in the end, when the guy was trying to take his soul, he fought and took his soul back. And so I'm the type of individual, you try to take my soul, I'm going to fight to take it back. And again, that's been my whole life. I've been a protector my whole life, and people have always come to me. I need you, I need you, I need you. And I've shown up, even at the
Wow.
expense of my own life, and so Monsta Yo is all of that, you know. But most of all, Monsta Yo is always motivated, regardless of what's going on, regardless of whether he's strong, regardless whether he's weak, regardless whether he's courageous, regardless whether he's scared. He's always motivated, and he's going, and he will never stop. Monsta Yo is a movement. It's not just about me. It's about everybody around us who feel that they can't be something in life because of their life circumstances and their life struggle. Monsta Yo is all of them. You know what I'm saying? We feel it. We feel like we can't be something. We feel like we're being put down every day, but yet we get up every morning and face the world and say, look at me, I'm still here and I'm breathing and I'm going to seize the day, and so that's who Monsta Yo is.
Yes, most definitely. I noticed that this movement, this unity for social justice that I, attended in Los Angeles, I went there and I was like, wow, it was a lot. It was packed. A whole lot of people flew in from everywhere and supported the cause. So very proud of you. Very touching. People were talking like different stories about you. Great things, just a peaceful event. So I'm very appreciative of even meeting your family and friends there. And they're just so cool. Yeah, Muscle Russell and and everyone was
my guy. I love my guy. Him and his twin. Shout out to both of them.
yeah, and Jimmy, and
Yeah,
there's a whole bunch of people that
Jimmy.
I ran into. So it was so good to just meet people in person.
Dirtbag, Realz
Dirtbag.
Sinatra. Shout out to Realz Sinatra. Smalls. Shout out to Smalls. All my brothers, man. LongBeach Blues. Everybody.
Right.
AKA Junior Boy.
Two, three Moolah. Make sure
Shout out to the artists. Shout out to the artists that I managed. 2-3 Moolah. As a matter of fact, 2-3 Moolah, one of the best in the game. He's a heavy hitter that's about to let the world know what he's really capable of. Y'all only had a taste of him, but y'all about to get the full story in a minute. You're about to drop an album. He gonna let y'all know what he's capable of and what he coming with. That's another phenomenal talent that I'm loving. That's a part of my family. And I'm loving to be able to help develop that young king because he's going to be somebody great. My goal is to have him exceed me, because the reality is that anybody that you're managing, you want them to be better than you. You know what I'm saying? So that when they're in the game and it's time for them to manage, they do the same thing. It's about that generational wealth. And the generational wealth comes from that teaching, the positive teaching that you give that individual to exceed all the limits of expectation. That's my goal, teach the individual so that they can exceed me.
Yeah, that's just selfless service right there.
This right here is one of my libraries. Hold on, let me set this down. This right here is my other library.
Oh, wow. Oh.
I read everything from self-help books to novels to just history, Black history, American history, Latin history, litigation, everything. One of my favorite books is As a Man Thinketh by James Allen.
Yes.
Very profound, very profound. He really knows how to tap into who you are as an individual, and he provokes the man within you, because there's so many grown-ass kids in this world and not grown-ass men. And so with that book, it gives you the steps on how to better yourself as a grown-ass man.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that you stated that because I think there's a lot of males that need help with that. And have you ever played an instrument?
Oh, absolutely. So I played the violin, I played the piano. Um, I tried playing the drums, but I suck. The violin and the piano, I'm okay with.
Wow. I never took you
Yeah,
as a violinist. Oh my
yeah.
goodness. That's amazing. Well, I can't wait to hear you play Bach.
For me, it takes the beat. The beat defines the song. For me, if I listen to the beat, it'll just come to me. I'll feel a vibe, and that vibe will take me to another place. I can tell when it's supposed to be a love song. I can tell when it's supposed to be freaky. I can tell when it's supposed to be grimy. I can tell when it's supposed to be rugged. You know what I'm saying? It's that beat. It talks to me and it speaks to me, and it just it creates the creative juices that flows within me.
Oh, that's very well said, sir. Think back to a situation when it was difficult to meet a project deadline. What did you learn from that experience?
There's never been a situation like that. I'm a strong believer in setting a deadline and fulfilling the obligation. There's no reason to not be able to fulfill the obligation if you apply yourself. You
Mhm.
know, I remember, matter of fact, let me go back then. I'll go back not to music, but to writing books. So I used to have timelines when I would have to write a book. And there were times back then when I would exceed the deadline and
Mm.
wasn't able to fulfill um, the project. Well, that pissed me off, because I held myself to a greater standard.
Mm.
When you don't lie to yourself, you don't lie to others, you don't lie to the world.
Right.
And so what I started to do is I would set a goal for myself. I would create a date and say, okay, well, I'm going to finish it on this date. No matter if it's a half-assed piece or not, I'm going to finish it on this date. And because this project is a representation of me, if I
Mhm.
half-ass it, it's a representation of me. If I
Wow.
do a great job, it's a representation of me. So now I hold myself accountable. So the minute I started holding myself accountable was the minute I no longer started to fail myself. And so from then on, I never missed the deadline in writing books. So now we look into the present. There's never a deadline that I don't meet. I will apply myself the first week, the first month, to be successful at the projects that I have to do, that I have to
Mm.
fulfill. I don't procrastinate until the last moment and then do it. To me, that's irresponsible for myself. Don't get me wrong. There's certain life things that we might do at the last minute, but when it comes to real projects, I apply myself immediately, and I just go hard.
Mm. Wow. That is definitely dedication and discipline. A lot of times, people we go through the third day, right? It's like starting anything new, a diet, a fitness regimen. That third day, you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna chill today. I'm not gonna work out.
Mm.
So I applaud you with your discipline because of
Thank
your
you.
300 push-ups, and nobody can top the 300 push-ups. Nintendo 360 Warrior Diva challenges anyone that can top Monsta Yo on a 300 push-up. Okay, so 300 push-up challenge. If you can beat 300 push-ups, but it has to be videoed. Okay, and we got to see this, and then maybe, hey, maybe Nintendo 360 has a prize for you. How about that? let's let's make it let's make it enticing. Uh,
I know that's right.
share an experience illustrating how your communication style makes you an effective person.
When I was younger, I would lead with my fists. You know, conflict. I didn't have conflict resolution skills. So you upset me. I allow my emotions to act without the benefit of my intellect. And of course, what happens when you do that? You become reckless. And so I would respond recklessly. Now, when it comes to situations to where I'm provoked, I first ask myself, why am I provoked? What was the trigger that led me to feeling the way that I felt? Then I ask myself, what are the solutions that I can create so that I do not respond the way that I did when I was a child? I also become considerate about the next individual. What if he's having a bad day? You know, what if he lost his mom? What if he had bad news from his girl? You know, maybe his daughter told him he wasn't a good father or whatever else. You know, and so once I'm able to give myself that type of understanding, then I lead with my words. I first approach, you know, are you okay? What's going on with you? Let's talk. Talk to me, King. You know, and it's the tone and the posture that I'm very much aware of. And these days, individuals know that I'm serious about really getting to the root of their problem. You know, in the beginning, when I used to do that, people be like, what's your angle? You know, because people don't come at them like that. People don't come at them as big brothers. People don't come at them as counselors and friends. You know, I used to ask people, how's your spirit? They'd be like, huh? Like, yeah, how's your spirit? How's your emotional? How's your mental? Because a lot of people don't ask people that. They just say, what's up? They say hi. But I really want to know, because I want to be there for you. You know, I tell those who I'm close to that, you know, you already carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Well, share that so that you're not crumbled under its pressure, under its gravity. Right. You know, together we can get through, but by yourself, you will be crushed. And so I don't want nobody that I'm close to, and even the people that I don't know, I don't want anyone to be crushed by the weight of the world. And so I'm always trying to be there for people so that they know that they're not alone in the world. Too many people feel alone in the world, and they're not. You know what I'm saying? But people are not asking them the right questions. They're just saying, what's up? How you doing? I'm all right. All right, that's cool. And you accept that. No, don't accept that. They're living life. There's life going on in their life. They're lifing in a real way. Ask them what's going on emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, you know, and so, but that's how I usually approach situations when I'm dealing with conflict.
I joke around with the even thinking about writing a book on human behavior modification. So it's interesting that you brought that up. But yeah, that's the title. Well, not title, but it's
smart. Yeah, I gotta watch you. You real smart. Okay.
How do you stay motivated in producing new inspiring music?
The way that I stay motivated is that I've endured life. You see, an individual that's been through struggle, they can only appreciate peace. I've been through so much struggle. I've been through so much war that I cannot allow life to take me out of myself, out of my peace of mind. You know, we deserve a peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? And so we're always giving our isms to everyone else. You know what I'm saying? And so the least you can do for yourself is say, hold on, I'm going to keep this. I'm going to maintain this because this is rightfully mine. I earned this. I have this crown for a reason. I wear this crown proudly. And so for my crown, I make sure that I ensure my peace and my motivation. Even when I'm feeling low, I pick up the pieces. And I always say tomorrow, that's when you reset. It's okay to feel what you're feeling. I'm not saying run away from it. I'm not saying tuck it under the rug because you don't want to implode. You experience it in that moment. If you have a loss, you experience that loss. You experience that grief. If your relationship has crumbled, you experience the grief and mourn that relationship in that moment. You know what I'm saying? If you had conflict with a friend, you experience why you were affected the way that you were affected and hurt why you, and the way you were hurt. But then the next day you reset. You say, okay, I experienced that. I still feel the little tension, but I'm going to let that go because I'm going to live my life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to do well at it. And it's okay to live your life. It's okay. You know, and that's what I do.
Wow. Well, thank you for that tidbit and you know, enlightenment, because a lot of us hold on to that pain and the, you know, wondering why the person reacted or continues to react or hold a grudge against you. you just often wonder, like sit down and wonder why that is. And it's really not your issue. I mean, you can reflect on it, but after that, you make peace.
I agree. It's not your issue. A lot of times we take on other people's energy and it's not even our own, but that's what happens when you're an empath. Then some individuals, they they lose themselves in other people's chaos, and that's the problem. When you start minding your own business, you don't have other people's chaos to worry about. We have enough turmoil in our lives. We have enough responsibilities in our lives. Why are we adding on, compounding with other people's mess? You know what I'm saying? We deserve to be happy, man. We really do. And so it's okay to say, you know what? I choose me. Because by me choosing me, I'm a better person to my family, to my friends, to those who respect me, to those who do business with me, because this one moment is not going to take me out of character and lose myself to the point to where all I'm doing is thinking about you 24/7. That means you've already won. I shouldn't be thinking about you 24/7. My life is too beautiful. Even in this unnatural situation that I'm in, even in the unnatural situation that people are in society, you got to realize this, that a lot of people in society are in prison, mentally, socially, emotionally. They're in prison and they're facing the same traumas that I'm facing, but just on a different scale. And so by me understanding that, I try to make sure I encourage everybody to liberate themselves from that prison, because it's okay to be free from drama and trauma and stress and mess. It's okay. Take your life back, man. That's what it's all about, taking your life back. We get so, I don't know, we get so lost in, again, just the drama. And life has become nothing but drama. You're the toughest if you can talk the loudest. You know what I'm saying? And that's not being tough. That's called being a paper tiger, in my opinion. But that's what it is. Just saying.
I think they just need a hug. People that need attention.
You feel me?
They just need a hug, That's all.
Right.
So, a little
That's
love,
a
a little sunshine in their life.
You feel me? They need to wake up like me. It's a beautiful morning.
We recently talked about your new single entitled "What You Talkin Bout," featuring Snoop Dogg. What was the inspiration behind that song?
First off, shout out to Snoop Dogg, man. Thank you for blessing me with that track, man. Humbly, bro. You are a beast. You are a legend. You put us on the map, what I'm saying, when it comes to being in this industry, and we pay homage to you. We appreciate you. But Snoop Dogg, he set the tone, straight up. He set the tone. And, I have an artist who's a crazy guy named Murderu, who is vicious. Like, lyrically, he is just so supernatural. He's an individual that you don't sleep on. Murderu is, he's just one of those underrated artists that's been in the game. He's in the same situation as me, incarcerated, but I had to put him on my label because he's just something extraordinary in everything, whether it's engineering, whether it's writing, whether it's rapping or whatever else. And so, he's from Deep East Oakland. And so when Snoop put together this track, it was like perfect, you know what I'm saying? And so we put Murderu on there and he did what he do, he shined. And for me, it was more so of giving a message. I'm trying to bring Long Beach together. I'm a strong believer that when you take care of home, then you can branch out and take care of other individuals. There's so much dissension in my city. There's so much violence happening, and I was even a contributor of that at one time. I want to teach the world how to love. I want to teach the world how to come together. For me, I'm with any artist that's not with the set trip. I'm with any artist that's looking to build with each other, not be separate from each other.
Really love the song. I mean, it was very unique, and there was one part it started saying Monsta, but in a different calibrated in a different way.
Okay, so that's my theme. So you got that. You got with Rick Ross, he got that Maybach music. Well, with me, I got that Monsta Yo music. And so for me, I just want to have my own theme background, and that's how my music. That's how I come in with my music. Introducing myself, Monsta Yo music. That's what it's all about.
Okay, well, if you need another person to help you out, I think you found the person right in front of you. But I can audition right now. Monsta Yo music. Okay. How did that go?
I love it. Oh, I love it.
We're on a live interview.
Everybody within my inner circle, we're all leaders. Everybody within my inner circle, we're all driven. We're all alphas. We're all individuals who refuse to lose. We're driven, and we're equally driven in this. I don't look at myself as being head of anybody or above anybody. All of them are my equal brothers. We all sit at the same table and we all eat together the same meal. You know what I'm saying? And no matter how we got there, we're equals at that finish line. And so I'm looking for an artist that is, one, talented as well. Two, comes with more than just rapping. You have to be business oriented. You have to be a bit educated. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm tired of stupid people. And yeah, I said it, stupid people. I'm looking for individuals who just bring something to the table that's extraordinary. I'm not looking for ordinary. I'm looking for extraordinary. One of the main important lessons that I've learned when it comes to working in the music industry is be driven. Don't be satisfied with what you've done. I'm always believing in myself, and you got to have that confidence. You got to have that thick skin in this game, because it will shut you down. It will tell you that you suck. It'll tell you that you don't deserve to be in a position. And you got to have that thick skin to know that you deserve to be in that position. There's a lot of garbage rappers that actually are in a high position because they push themselves and push themselves and push, and look at them. And I salute those garbage rappers because they push themselves, and, I got to give them their salutes. At the end of the day, they knew what it took. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it takes. You gotta believe in yourself. You gotta work hard. You gotta not accept no for an answer, because there's so many doors that can open for you. You gotta also learn how to transform your hustling skills into entrepreneurial skills. A lot of times we don't realize that we already possess the tools needed to take over the business world. And so, we may not have the language to it the way you would have, the way that you would learn it in college, but we have it already ingrained in us from the street life, from the street culture, from the things that we have done. And so transform those hustling skills into entrepreneurial skills. Use what you know from the streets in this industry, and you'll take over.
Very well said. Yes, definitely the translation from like you said, street smarts into the business world. And that's so true. And a lot of things, you were privy to in the streets. You could teach those gems in a training course, right? To us, so we can learn the skill sets that you already have. What would you be doing? Like if you were
if I wasn't producing music, I would be more into being a motivational speaker, being a big brother to the youth. I'm still going to be a big brother to the youth and a motivational speaker, but I'll be more adamant at it than I am this music. Music is my dream and my passion. I love it, man. It's my journal of life. It allows me to set a precedent. It allows me to be immortal, but at the end of the day, my passion also is to help inspire the youth and teach them a better way, because I don't want them leading down my road. You shouldn't have to spend 28 years in prison and 17 years in solitary confinement to change your life. Learn from my mistakes. I think one of the smartest people, or some of the smartest people in the world, are those who learn from others' mistakes. And I want them to learn from my mistakes so that they don't repeat the same things that I've done and lose their life for stupidity, man. And so, yeah, being a motivational speaker, being a youth advocate, a big brother.
And how has the internet and social media influenced your career?
Well, the internet and social media influenced my career in a great way based on the fact that it allows you to network on a broader scale. You can connect with so many individuals and really get your material out there and market yourself and brand and expand your brand and everything else. It allows you just to make those connections needed to get you to the top. And shout out to Skrilla Gorilla Magazine for helping me get to the top, aka Mr. Lord Daze, my loved one.
And cigars. I love that.
In the movie.
If you could change anything about the music industry, what would it be?
I would say change the content that we put out there. We don't realize that the content that we put out there warps people's minds. It creates something in us that unlocks that animalistic mentality. And because of that, it provokes us to want to do things, just by the subliminal messaging. And I think that if we were to become much more conscious, we could save the next generation. We could save a nation. My method to my madness is that, I talk to the youth. What I deliver, I want them to be able to relate to me. I want them to know that I live their life, that I experience their truth, that I'm no gimmick. You know what I'm saying? I'm an individual that, who's been in the trenches, who's been a beast, who's been a warrior, who's been grimy and everything else. And now I'm a conscious grown ass man, teaching people the right way, And so I always tell people that in my lyrics, the whole purpose of that is to get the youth attention. Like, who is this?
Schools have invited music artists to speak at their schools, right? To the youth.
Okay.
But the music or their content lyrically is not conducive to the youth, but they are revered from the youth. So what is your take on that? Should schools not have speakers of such, or do you think it's okay? Let's just say, for instance, if I'm talking about body parts, right, in my music.
I like that question. I'm going to say this, that if they're doing it my way, then I respect it. So if your music is not favorable for kids, but you're going up but the kids are inspired by you, but you're going to those schools, educating those kids with correct knowledge, then I think you're doing a great job. And the reason why I feel like you're doing a great job, because they didn't see that coming from you. That's the gift. You know what I'm saying? Because the first thing they're thinking about is this wild individual on a stage, in the music video doing what he do. But then when you offer them that positive message and let them know where you come from and start explaining why you put out the content that you put out there, right, and do it the right way, I think that's cool. Now, if you get an artist that his music is ratchet and he comes, that's something you don't want for your kids,
right? Because
all he's going to do is create another generational curse of kids who are stuck in that mentality. And any kid that is stuck in that mentality, what happens? It leads to their own self-destruction.
So what's next for Monsta Yo, and what message would you like to give your fans and up-and-coming artists?
I would like to give my fans this message. Keep believing in me, because I'm going to show up and I'm going to show out. I'm here for you guys, and I appreciate everything that you guys do. I love the support. I appreciate the support, and I definitely won't let you down when I come home. I'm here for us. You know what I'm saying? It's a real movement. Even when I come home, it's still going to be a Monsta Yo movement, and we're going to take over the world, baby. I'm just saying. You know, when it comes to the up and coming artists, be driven, man. Be dedicated. Be consistent. Let your words speak truth. Walk with integrity. Don't be a sucker. Don't let people play you. But at the end of the day, know how to be professional. Use decorum in every situation that you can. Understand that everything is not a matter of it's the end of the world. Keep believing in yourself. Don't stop. Keep driving, because that's what it's all about.
Now I have this song in my head. Keep on moving. Don't stop. Be sure to subscribe and like, comment to view all the episodes on Know 360 on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And don't forget to subscribe also to Monsta Yo.
Subscribe to Instagram, Monsta, MONSTA_YO, or on YouTube, Monsta Yo or Monsta Yo Official. I'm on all streaming platforms, Monsta Yo. Google me. You're gonna find, baby, that I'm vicious, baby. I'm all over the world. Beyond that, go to Amazon, check out my books. My name is Ladaro Pennix. Ladaro, Ladaro, Pennix, Pennix the second. Go get my book, Love Towards Seductive. It's a suspense thriller about a female serial killer. It's vicious. And no, it's not an urban novel. Also Divine Comprehension, or Sugar for My Granny editions, whatever, but go ahead and represent, support my weed strain, Monsta Yo Glue, Monsta Yo Extendo. Support my business partner, Canna Muscle Russell. Support my loved one, Skrilla Gorilla magazine. Skrilla Gorilla is going to take you to the next level if you're in this music industry. Tap in with him. He got everything, and I mean everything. Gosh, it's endless resources. Tap into this podcast, because this is one of the best podcasters out there right now, doing it the best they do. They represent. So make sure you support Know 360, baby. And make sure you show love, because she's a real one. Shout out to Blackgrass Podcast, Jeremy. Represent his podcast, Skywalker Boxing Podcast. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to my brother Jimmy. Shout out to 23 Mula, my artist. Shout out to EST Mills, my artist. Fly Muliano, my artist. He has a birthday bash coming on the 18th. I also have a concert coming on the 18th as well, the Free Monsta Yo tour. And at 99 Bottles in Anaheim, we're going to be having them flyers out pretty soon. And yeah, you already know it's going to be lit, baby, but yeah, that's what it is.
Okay. Also, shout out to In the Den with Nala. Shout out to her. And let's continue to support the Unity for Social Justice. Let's free Monsta Yo, everyone. This has been a broadcast of showing love full circle between Know 360 and Monsta Yo. Hold tight, sir. Thank you for everything. Have a wonderful and blessed evening.